Tonight, enter the lair of the body snatchers in Graveyard of Horror. Next, here on 39 WDZL.
Will not be mine. No. Today I will leave Binbrook Castle, my ancestral home. I will leave because I can no longer bear the silence of death. Once we were a fine, respected, flourishing family. Then, little by little, we disappeared. Until finally, I was left alone with my niece Margaret and with my sister-in-law, Anne, and my brother Robert in this gloomy castle where the sun rarely enters. Still walk, and I must walk to some place where I might find the love and warmth of a woman like my wife Elizabeth, someone who can replace this damned and cursed Kate.
Are you alone?
Yes, go in.
Oh, thank you.
No, allow me.
Oh,
Yeah?
you're a proper gentleman. Yes, many thanks.
Come in.
Are you going far, sir?
No. I'll be seeing my wife soon.
Oh, you're married, are you?
I should be a father by now.
Oh. Oh, that damn suitcase. Well, I don't see there's anything to laugh at.
Where's Elizabeth? Has she given birth yet? I asked you about my wife. Oh, no. How did it happen? Oh, child.
It was a girl. But it was born dead.
Did she suffer?
I don't know. We didn't see her.
And why not?
Please, Michael. You shouldn't ask me any more questions.
Then whom should I ask?
Ask your other sister-in-law, or their mother. But don't ask me. I know nothing more than you already know. They're both dead.
Barbara!
Don't open it. I don't ever want to see him again.
It's Michael, Mother. And like it or not, he married my sister Elizabeth. Mother, I don't understand your attitude.
Shut up, Pamela.
Barbara!
Well, do something, girls. Lock every one of the doors.
Where's your mother?
She's upstairs.
You have come here for nothing. Now, please, Michael, get out.
Why did Elizabeth die?
Because of you. Your career was more important than she, or than the baby she carried. If you hadn't made her suffer so, with your silence.
Silence? What do you mean? I wrote to her every day.
That's a lie. We didn't receive one single letter.
Is there a letter?
No, dear.
I don't understand it.
I'm sorry, child.
Why doesn't he write to me? Did you see the postman?
He passed here ages ago.
Are you trying to drive me mad? What killed her?
I think you'd better ask Dr. Kinberg. Her death certificate was signed by him.
Where is Dr. Kinberg?
He's not in now, mister.
I'm Michael Sherrington.
Ah, you're the brother of the Earl of Binbrook. I assume you also have the manners to go along with it. Such a distinguished name as that.
Indeed. I asked for Dr. Kinberg, please.
Your family would have been distressed, sir.
Did you understand me?
I'm sure they would have knocked before bursting into a room.
Get me Dr. Kinberg.
May I help you? I'm the doctor's nurse. Are you ill?
I want to find out how my wife ended up on his damn operating table.
Could you come back at 8, Mr. Sherrington?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Kinberg. You're back just in time. This gentleman would like to ask you a question.
I'm awfully sorry. I see no one at this hour. Tell him to come back at 9 or so.
No, not at 8 or at 9. You're going to tell me right now how Elizabeth Sherrington died.
You are right. You needn't return at all. For what it might be worth to you, I was not the physician attending your wife, sir. It was Dr. Lexter, aide to your brother the Earl, and long-standing friend of your family. Or does he no longer live in the castle? If you're interested in further details, I suggest you go to the town hall and ask for a copy of the death certificate, which I signed, of course.
Why didn't anybody tell me before about Dr. Lexter? Why all this secrecy?
Please, Miss Merritt, will you show Mr. Sherrington out?
Elizabeth Sherrington died at 1400 hours on the 17th day of November this year of natural causes, possibly aggravated by the intervention of a cesarean operation performed for the removal of a dead fetus.
You believe, Mr. Sherrington, that I did all that I could for your wife. But her sisters called me in 24 hours after a complicated birth was imminent. It was necessary to give her a cesarean. The child died before I could operate. However, it was unfortunate. Your wife was unable to survive the operation.
Why? I don't understand.
You should never have allowed her to stay with her mother. She would have been cared for much better here.
Hello? Can you tell me when they open the gates?
If nobody died, they don't.
What do you mean?
Well, Mr. Foles says that what he gets for running the place isn't enough. So he takes other work when there's nothing going on here.
Who's Mr. Foles?
A grave digger.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foles. I found it. Do you have something to write it?
Sure. Go to the office. On the table, there are some newspapers. What does Dr. Kinberg want with all these skulls?
I don't know. He's conducting a study, I think, of the human brain in relation to that of the size of the skull.
I never thought dead folks could be used for science.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Scaife.
Whom should I ask, then?
Ask your sisters-in-law or your mother. But don't ask me.
Why did my wife end up on this damn operating table?
It wasn't I who attended your wife. It was Dr. Lexter.
Why did Elizabeth die?
Because of you, Michael. Your career was more important than she, huh? Or than the child she was carrying.
Why don't they tell me the truth? Why all the secrecy?
He's coming. Sit down. We can eat if you're ready.
Please go ahead. Where are all the servants?
Oh, well, I had to let them go. There's not enough money anymore. But don't worry. You'll be looked after.
Nothing makes sense here anymore. And how well do you know this, Mr. Foles? I want to see Elizabeth. You think you could persuade him to open up the grave?
Have you gone raving mad? My pills, quickly. Dr. Lexter.
I'd have thought you'd been more considerate than this. You noticed the absence of servants, yet you haven't even asked about your brother. His lordship disappeared mysteriously. Lady Anne's health hasn't been the same since, her heart. And to make matters worse, your wife's death. You should realize that emotional strain should be avoided. Mr. Sherrington, bear that in mind.
Now, sir, what did you say her name was?
Elizabeth. Elizabeth Sherrington.
Sherrington. Oh, yes, Michael's wife. Yes, the boy who used to steal flowers from my garden.
I'm Michael.
You? Michael? My, how you have grown up. I don't suppose I have to tell you where the family plot is.
No, I haven't come to see that. What I want is something only you can do for me.
I am at your service.
Open Elizabeth's grave.
What?
I want to see her.
For God's sake. A bit of respect, Mr. Sherrington.
Think about it, Mr. Foles. I'll pay you well for your work.
Get out of here. Get out before I call the police. Hello? Is it you? Yes, he just left. You could have warned me. Just some nonsense. He wanted me to open up the grave. All right. Naturally. He's got to be watched.
We will return to Graveyard of Horror.
Good evening, my lady.
Good evening, Doctor. Hello, Christy.
Lady Anne.
I'd like a word with Mrs. Sherrington.
Hello, Lily.
I'll call him. Please sit down. Won't you?
Good evening, Dr. Kinberg.
Is there any news of his lordship?
Unfortunately, we haven't. The police squad is not as efficient as you might think.
Michael? Michael! Sorry, sir. He doesn't want to see anyone. Please excuse him.
Very well. Ask him to come see me tomorrow. I was just asking Dr. Lexter about Sir Robert. I'm very sorry you've not heard. If you do hear from him, call me. I would be very grateful. Dear lady.
Good night.
We'll go as well,
Can
Anne.
I drop you off?
Yes, thank you.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Good night.
Michael is not in his room. Where could he be?
Let's go. Help me. Hello, Margaret. How is your Uncle Michael?
I don't know. He didn't come home last night.
Thank you.
You're it, Johnny. Okay, go and hide. One, two, three. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
What are you doing here?
Nothing. I came upon this open door and...
Open?
17, 18, 19, 20. I'm coming, look out! What happened?
I can't understand the escape. Last night we complied with the requirements of the new cycle. Wasn't Michael enough? Here's what's left of him. Only the head. A few bones. There wasn't a bit left of Mr. Woods' body. Still got 6 months more. 6 more crimes. I want more money, more help. This is not a one-man job. Margaret? She came into the back entrance of the crypt, and she saw me with this. I don't think she realized what was in it, but she's going to be a problem. We'll have to think about her for the next cycle. Have you any news, Inspector?
Interesting news, Doctor. Michael Sherrington has disappeared. And a child has been attacked by an animal of some kind.
I do know this, that Dr. Lexter thinks that a wild bear attacked the child, but you know as well as I do that these animals do not eat meat at all. One more thing. We have examined the skulls, and none has been aged through normal chemical change, Inspector.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela? Pamela? Without Michael. He won't ever come. Will he?
Michael will never come back. No, Sir Robert. They've killed them, just like they've tried to kill Johnny.
Margaret, what are you saying? Now, Margaret, what do you mean? What are you trying to say?
My little friend Johnny was attacked by a monster, and nobody's seen my uncle. So where are they? Dead?
What she's saying is quite true. Johnny's foot was mauled. According to Dr. Lexter, it was a wild boar.
It's absurd. I should certainly think that if such a thing happened to my son-in-law, they'd have found traces of his body, surely.
What's the matter with Margaret? Something I can do.
Nothing, Doctor. You may leave. Where's Lilith?
Michael!
Michael.
Michael!
Ladies, excuse me, but would you kindly explain why you look at me in such a strange way every time you see me?
Come. Let's not waste time. Come on. Just ignore him.
Mother.
Where were you?
I saw him. In the woods.
Lily, whom did you see?
I found his harmonica in the snow. But he disappeared among some trees. There, where he used to walk with Elizabeth.
Elizabeth?
I just don't understand.
Can't be true.
What can't be true, Pamela?
I took the harmonica the night we were at the castle. The night Dr. Kinbird came looking for Michael. I took it and locked it up in the vanity.
Graveyard of Horror will return.
It was you, wasn't it?
You must be mad.
What right have you to open this chest?
Mother, I didn't.
They're gone. Where's Michael's letters?
Letters? What letters? Pamela?
Those that he wrote to Elizabeth. The ones she didn't receive because I didn't want her to. You, too. You were in love with Michael, weren't you? That's why you never cried when Elizabeth died, right, my sister? Your poor heart is breaking because Michael will never come back, just like me. But he'll never return to us. Never.
Please, Doctor. Get the carriage ready. Come, Barbara. We've got to find him.
It's like they found your husband. Shut up, Pamela. You have much explaining to do about your so-called love for Michael Sherrington.
Oh, Auntie Anne. He's come back.
Who's come back?
Michael. He wasn't murdered. I saw him going upstairs.
Something wrong, ladies? Are you seeing your Uncle Michael again?
I asked them to stay. I have something to say to all of you.
He didn't leave by train. Everyone at the station knows him. And no one saw him.
No one. We can even ask our fair little Margaret.
No one.
Not even you, Margaret. Am I right? Well, did you?
Yes, I did. I saw him. I spoke to him, but he didn't answer. He ran into his room and shut the door. I said, Michael, my Aunt Anne is looking for you. And Dr. Kinberg also wants you. Stop lying. No, I'm not lying, Pamela. I'm not lying. Please, that hurts. You're hurting me.
Let her alone, Pamela. No need to demonstrate how capable of cruelty you are. I know you'll be able to murder your own brother-in-law.
Mother, you mean you think I murdered? That I could have?
I have my reasons.
Michael, I'm going to bathe in perfume. Michael, I'm all perfume now. Would you help me? I need you.
Yes, I saw. Do you think I'm blind? And you're no better. Even you tried to take him away. Do you feel no guilt?
His fault. He liked to bathe when I was nearby.
Liar! I watched you chase after him, both of you.
Nothing. Just want to be with both of you. If you don't mind too much.
Well, I do mind. And I'll thank you not to come around here. Michael and I would like to be alone. If she'd let us stay with her, she wouldn't have got pregnant before getting married.
Mother! That's why we wouldn't go to her when she was about to have her baby. Mother. Help me close it. Michael!
Then who killed Elizabeth?
tell you we've got to get rid of her. She mustn't be allowed to talk.
It mustn't be me. You've got to do it. Besides, we've got to think about the next cycle.
Our safety depends on you. We can't waste time. Bring her here or put her to sleep. Only she must not be allowed to talk. If this isn't done, I'll cut off the damn tubes and let the Earl rot into the ground with his cursed experiments.
Well, do you know this, Mr. Foles? I want to see Elizabeth. Do you think you could convince him to open the grave?
Have you gone raving mad? Quick, my pills.
What are you doing here?
Nothing. I came upon an open door.
My friend Johnny was attacked by a monster, and nobody has seen my uncles. Where are they dead? No, I'm not lying, Pamela. I'm not lying. Let me alone, you heard?
It's urgent he should talk, Dr. Kinberg.
Sorry, Inspector. A man suffering from terror induced by shock cannot be expected to tell what happened to him with clarity. Ready, Miss Merritt?
Ready, Doctor.
Don't you find it logical that a murderer would cut up a body and leave the hair where it could be found?
This head was brutally torn from the body. Something only a monstrously strong creature could have done.
Can the beast be identified?
No species known.
In that case, could we say that we're faced with a phenomenon of metamorphosis?
Turn out the light. What are you getting at?
Don't you find it strange that ever since the Earl's disappearance, Dr. Lexter's patients have died periodically? Who is he exactly? And what's he doing at Binbrook Castle?
Didn't you know Lady Anne suffers from heart disease?
No. I have information from headquarters that ever since the Earl's disappearance, the family's fortunes go down to nothing. At the same time, Dr. Lexter's become one of the major stockholders in the Bryant and Goldman Company. I'm interested in knowing, Doctor, to what lengths you would go to sign a death certificate for one of Dr. Lexter's patients.
Why not? The deaths were all of natural causes. I just don't see
A good alibi for Dexter. Summing up, we have a doctor suddenly becoming very rich. Elizabeth Sherrington's head found outside her tomb. And a scientist who disappears at the height of his career.
Are you inferring Sir Robert was one of the victims?
Most probably. What's certain is someone is taking corpses from their graves. This is the only clue we've got.
No doubt. It is Elizabeth. The light, please.
Care to come, Dr. Kinberg? We'll have a chance to prove it tonight that someone is opening the graves.
Did you sleep well, dear?
I don't know.
You didn't drink your milk?
No.
Well, you must drink it. Unless you want to die of starvation, Margaret.
What's wrong?
Nothing. She didn't drink this. If any of you want to accompany me to the cemetery, better get ready. I'd like to know who died.
You hear it? But it's Michael.
Come, Lily. Come away.
Michael.
None of us are thinking straight.
Graveyard of Horror will continue in a moment.
After 22 years, Bob Eubanks is still making marriage a laughing matter.
Got my bra over his eyes. He called himself the Mosquito Bandito.
He's a rascal.
You sure you don't want the whooping fairy to come over?
He's a referee.
Excuse me.
He's the champ.
Oh, well, then why did you say that in the first place?
Because my mother's watching.
Bob Eubanks and the new Newlywed Game. They're as much an institution as marriage itself.
Monday night at 7:30 on 39 WDZL.
Rock-a-bye, baby, in the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks,
And now, the continuing story of Boy Meets Girl, Boy Loses Girl, Boy Gets Girl. Some said it would never work. Others thought she brought out the beast in him, but he was bananas over her. Could they beat the odds? Would they find happiness in the concrete jungle? Or will he drop her to catch a flight to Hollywood? The answers to these and other towering questions in King Kong.
Today at noon, once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping on my chamber door.
Afraid, my dear?
Vincent Price, Jack Nicholson, and Boris Karloff, the Raven. Today at noon on 39 WDZL.
Are you feeling ill, Mr. Folds? If you wish, I'll call Dr. Kinber.
No, thank you. I'm all right.
Good.
What is it you wanted, Mr. Harrison?
Nothing. Nothing at all. It seems a wonderful day to visit the dead. Don't you agree?
I don't understand what you mean.
What do you understand, Mr. Folds? The sound of birds singing? The sweet sound of music? Or perhaps the howling of some hungry beast? Is that it, Mr. Folds? What's the matter? If you don't feel well, I can call Dr. Lexter. Or perhaps you prefer Dr. Kinber.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes?
How did you get into the cemetery? The gates were closed.
Mr. Folds, how did the wind get in?
Why do you obligate yourself in this dangerous way? I want this document signed by you.
No, it's too much, William.
It is never too much. It's the ways of intelligence. As Sir Robert would say, sign it.
Not enough to give up to.
What are you doing?
I forgot for a moment the respect I owe to you aristocrats. Sorry, Lady Anne, but we must be careful of public opinion. In respect to the Sherringtons. Don't you agree?
William.
What?
Nothing. You can go.
Someone he can trust.
Why are you following me? Why do you look at me like that? What do you want?
Calm down. I think you owe me an explanation of certain things.
Really? I have nothing to say. Good night.
You'd better not go yet. Or I'll be obliged to ask questions elsewhere. That could be embarrassing.
Questions?
You know very well what I mean. It's better to tell me the truth. You know I accused my own flesh and blood, my daughter, because I cannot abide lies. Where's your husband? What happened to Michael? Who murdered Elizabeth?
How dare you ask me those questions? Would that I knew the answers. I suspected maybe you were involved. In any case, you should look to your daughters. Maybe they can answer your questions.
I don't need your advice, Anne. I need you to explain. Elizabeth died in your house. That's a lie. Elizabeth didn't die. She was murdered, and you know it.
Yes, I do. I knew it when I saw you accuse your own daughters.
But they are not doctors, are they? Perhaps I might ask your darling and adoring Dr. Lexter. Because his patients seem to die regularly, am I wrong? Not to mention his business with Mr. Foles.
You're getting carried away with your suspicions. I'd advise you to investigate elsewhere. Michael should never have married your daughter.
Yes, that's right. But you don't have to be a professor to know that the Sherringtons will use any poor soul to help them do whatever dirty work. Ah! Ah! Oh! Oh!
What do you want, William?
Come down.
I asked you what you want.
It looks like everything finally comes to a head. We must leave the castle. We've got to protect ourselves.
You're wrong. I don't think you understood me. If you've remained here, it wasn't only to protect me, but also to protect my husband.
You're insane like him, Anne. You know he won't ever come back. When you accepted his insanity, you lost him.
Robert will come back. He'll not fail Dr. Lexter. He's the world's greatest scientist.
He might have been once, yes, my lady. But now he's nothing but putrefying flesh, that's all. Trying desperately to make something of his rotting body. You haven't seen him. Something without form or energy, and for whose existence I have to continue to murder. A thing that the world would quickly exterminate.
Oh, but you can avoid that, can't you, William? You won't allow the world to see him. I want my husband back, as he once was.
That is impossible, and you know it. According to Robert's own theory, there's still 5 months. And now there's some people around here I've never seen before.
What do you mean?
Who was here when your young niece Margaret swore that she saw Michael? Couldn't have been him. Why did Dr. Kinberg want to speak to him in private? And who is this very mysterious assistant at his clinic? Calls himself Harrison. We're hemmed in, Anne. The Earl of Binbrook will never come back to life. His body will rot underground.
Don't say that. Wait. You have drained me financially, but I still have my jewels. I can still pay you.
Hang on to the jewels, my lady. You can't be a noble without them.
You are a thief, Dr. Lexter. Not only have you tried to ruin us, but you're trying to take the only thing left. My husband's legacy to the world. Dr. Lexter has betrayed you.
We will return to Graveyard of Horror. Today at 4.
It's Susan.
It's out there, waiting
It's open one of the doors.
in space. All you can hear are screams.
It was alive. It was waiting for us.
It's hungry. Creature, today at 4 on 39 WDZL.
David, age 19. Andy, age 5.5. Mindy, age 27.
Over 30,000 Americans have died of AIDS. 1.5 million Americans are infected and capable of transmitting the virus through sexual contact. The only protections are monogamy with an uninfected partner and abstinence. The use of a condom will also reduce the risk. Play it safe. AIDS, it's an equal opportunity killer. Sunday, a family affair.
You really are the sweetest man in the world. But I'm the only one who knows it.
Katharine Hepburn, Henry Fonda, and Jane Fonda find all the joy, fear, and pain on Golden Pond, winner of 3 Academy Awards.
It seems that you and me have been mad at each other for so long.
I didn't know we were mad. I thought we just didn't like each other.
A motion picture experience. Sunday at 2 on 39 WDZL. Viewer discretion is advised.
When I was just a little pup, where'd my people go? They said they'd never give me up. Where'd my people go? I'd never leave them. Why, oh why did I believe them? I'm so lonely. Where'd my people go?
Sunday, he faces a vicious street gang.
Stay away from those animals.
And dares to fight alone.
You're finished, big man.
He vows revenge.
Give me a fun.
And turns a losing battle into a bloody war. Jan Michael Vincent pounds the punks into the pavement and defies anyone to cross his line. Defiance. Sunday on 39 WDZL's 8 p.m. movie. Viewer discretion is advised.
Follow them. See where they go. When and how. Then meet where we've arranged. Get ready. There's work to be done.
your last night, Sir Robert.
We've got her now.
Michael?
Come, Marguerite. I'm here.
Will be worthy of a great scientist.
Michael.
This way. Halt! The police. Let's go back. He's done. Come on.
Trouble, return the forest, quickly.
Stop! They're closing in on us. Hurry!
Where's he going? Michael! Hold it! Ready? Fire!
I, Robert Sherrington, the Earl of Binbrook, in full control of my faculties, leave to science at the hour of my death. All manuscripts dealing with my experiments concerning the transmutation of human cells. I swear that these experiments were carried on with the kind help of my wife, Lady Anne, and Dr. William Lexter. And I do hereby confess that I voluntarily submitted myself as the subject for these experiments to determine the metamorphosis which would take place on the human body fed with serums and plasma while placed under conditions of hibernation in order to further investigation as to the origin of man. But I must warn the world that in retrospect, such an experiment into the primal components of matter can provoke transitory moments of savage animal behavior, which would require human flesh to feed the subject. Taking this into account, I hereby ask my wife Anne to destroy me before I become a menace to humanity.
I don't like you with a cane.
Thank you. Thank you for teaching me that melody.
Today I will leave Binbrook Castle, my ancestral home. I will leave because I can no longer bear the silence of